From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We were treated to a lot of sunshine across mid-Michigan today. Satellite and radar still shows mostly clear conditions across our area, but notice we have a lot of cloud cover gathering to our west, and that will be moving in tonight. Temperatures are currently sitting in the mid to upper 30s, 34 degrees in Lansing, 35 in Jackson, and 33 our current temperature in Marshall. But of course, when we factor in the winds, it's a lot cooler outside with feels like temperatures sitting in the mid to upper 20s across most locations. Our wind chill temperatures will stay in the 20s as we go throughout the overnight hours. We have a fairly mild day in the forecast for tomorrow with highs near average, but I wouldn't get too used to it as we have some cooler conditions right around the corner. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 6.
Even more updates tonight on the police chase and shootout in Jackson involving pipe bombs from earlier this month. It's our top story at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer.
And I'm Sherry Jones. Police say it all started when a man shot his brother in Lenawee County. It ended about 40 miles away with dozens of gunshots and pipe bomb explosions.
Zach Breeze has been following this story. He's here for you now with the very latest. Zach.
Law enforcement held a press conference today to update the investigation, and one officer was shot in the arm during the chase shortly before the suspect was killed.
Without them engaging in this, it could have been a lot worse. The brave men and women who jumped out and did what they do every day is what brought this to an end.
Officials emphasized the importance that no one else was hurt and reassured the public that Jacob Austin Hikes was a lone wolf.
I do know that from their investigation that he wasn't working with anyone. I know that was a fear from the from society standpoint that he was working with someone or he was planning this large terroristic threat. None of that has been uncovered.
Officials say it all started when Hikes was confronted by his father for stealing money for drugs. He pulled multiple guns on his father before his brother tried to wrestle the gun away from him. It went off, shooting his brother in the forearm. Hikes took off. Police were able to track his phone to Jackson. A chase followed. Shots fired. With dozens of shots fired and even pipe bombs. Officials said the whole incident lasted about 7 minutes and felt they needed to act fast to end the threat.
What is the risk of not stopping this individual from behaving or committing the crime that they're committing?
Investigators say they still aren't sure how many shots were fired or how many buildings were hit, but they do know every situation is different.
What could we have done to improve the incident? You can always find some areas for improvement.
And 6 homemade explosives were found in Hike's vehicle, as well as an AR-style rifle, as well as a handgun. And as for the officer that was injured, we are told he was released from the hospital some time ago and is doing well.
Thank you so much, Zach. Well, a judge has rejected a request by the Oxford school shooter to reconsider his sentence.
Ethan Crumbly was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for the shooting that killed 4 classmates and injured 7 other people.
Crumbly is 18 now, but he was just 15 in November of 2021 when he entered Oxford High School with a gun and opened fire. He eventually pleaded guilty to all 24 charges against him, including first-degree murder and terrorism. Because of his young age, the judge could have given Crumbly a lighter sentence, and he could have been eligible for parole in as little as 25 years. However, the judge said Crumbly only had a slim chance of rehabilitation and sentenced him to life behind bars.
A sheriff's deputy in Hillsdale County is headed to trial as a defendant.
He's accused of assaulting an inmate in the county jail.
The Michigan Attorney General's office announced today 43-year-old Ronald Leggett has waived his preliminary exam in district court, so his case can head to trial in circuit court. Prosecutors say in December of 2021, a woman was brought into the jail where she was, quote, resistant and disruptive. Over the course of 80 minutes, prosecutors say Leggett pepper sprayed her 6 times. 5 of those times, the woman was in a restraint chair and unable to move. Leggett is charged with misconduct in office and assault with a dangerous weapon. He faces up to 5 years in prison if he's convicted.
An injured firefighter is suing Delta Township over alleged disability discrimination.
Nathan House claims township officials retaliated against him after he hurt his back on the job earlier this year.
Nick Simon spoke to the firefighter and his attorney today about the case. He's here for you now with more on this tonight. Nick?
Sherry, Siobhan, Nathan didn't want to go on camera, but he tells me that after 23-year career as a firefighter and 19 as a paramedic, everything changed in late February when he got the call to go help someone and couldn't leave them behind.
There happened to be a morbidly obese patient. We didn't have enough staffing to help move the patient. And because of that lack of staffing, I was forced to move them during a critical emergency and suffered some pretty considerable back injuries because of that.
He says he felt a pop and knew something was wrong. After that, the department transferred him to light duty, which involved him traveling more than 100 miles to work, one way, 5 days a week instead of the 10 days per month that firefighters normally serve. At the same time, he was undergoing physical therapy and received a doctor's note advising him not to sit or drive for longer than 30 minutes at a time. But his attorney says everything changed after an MRI confirmed a problem.
There was a legitimate back injury. There was some objective manifestation of an injury, which, indicates to the employer and the workers' comp insurance carrier that they're going to have a legitimate claim on their hands. That's really when the retaliation started.
He says the township hired a private investigator to follow him around, made him come to work every day without a job to do, and stopped him from working in his side business as a mentor for other firefighters. When we checked the site for in-house solutions, some promotional material showed House in San Francisco. We asked about that, and House claims that the trip happens before his injury, and most of his outside work is indoors and doesn't involve heavy lifting.
Yes, this is literally all classroom portion. There is no firefighting or EMS activity of any type. This is literally standing and sitting.
House says that there's still ways that he can help Delta Township working part-time, but officials didn't even want to have that conversation. But disability rights experts tell me that those conversations are the right thing to do.
It is an employer's responsibility to reach out and try and start that interactive process. It seems like maybe the employer wasn't really aware of the employee's rights and their responsibilities as an employer in this situation.
We also reached out to Delta Township about this, and they told us that they don't comment on pending litigation. In the meantime, we'll keep following this story, and you can find more details on our website, WLNS.com. Back to you.
Thank you, Nick. We do have a scam alert to pass along to you tonight, this time from the Ingham County Sheriff's Office. Deputies there say someone is calling local people and claiming to be Officer Gates from the Sheriff's Office. Now, there is no Officer Gates. In fact, the Sheriff's Office doesn't have officers, it has deputies. Pretending to be a law enforcement officer over the phone is a common scam. Real police will never call you and demand money over the phone.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Our weather today was a big reality check across mid-Michigan, with wind chill temperatures actually stuck in the mid to upper 20s for a good chunk of the day. Now, thankfully, we were able to balance out those cooler temperatures with a lot of sunshine across the area. So overall, it did end up looking really beautiful for our Tuesday. Hopefully you were able to enjoy it, because by tomorrow, that cloud cover moves right back in. Speaking of beautiful, tonight's Picks on 6 comes to us from all the way over in Maui. Our friend Jeff's sending us a beautiful picture of the sunset over there. Friendly reminder, you can always share your pictures with us by going to our website, WLNS.com/share. Now, hopefully that beautiful picture will make up for some of the temperatures that we have in the forecast going forward. We are going to be at average for tomorrow with highs in the low 40s. Again, it comes along with a lot more in the way of cloud cover, and then those cooler temperatures start to move in. By the time we get into this upcoming weekend, our high temperatures will be well below average, actually topping out below the freezing mark across the area, and that will also come along with several chances for lake effect snow. Precision Cast will keep us dry as we go throughout the overnight hours, but cloud cover moves And I do think we have a chance of seeing just a couple of peaks of sunshine as we start off our Wednesday, but overall we're still going to be mostly cloudy, courtesy of a low pressure system that will pass just off to our south. That system not going to bring us any significant chance for precipitation, but Wednesday night we could sneak in a couple of isolated rain showers for those of us south of Lansing. Thursday, yet again, we are staying dry and mostly cloudy. Then Thursday night, our winds will begin to pick up across the area and we start to turn up those lake effect snow showers. I do think in terms of travel impacts, everything is going to be fine for us here in mid-Michigan on Thursday. The further west and further north that we go, the better likelihood that we see some snowfall accumulation, and then also those slick roads, and then certainly going to be a possibility across our area for Friday. Nothing significant in terms of snowfall totals though. The chance that we pick up 2 inches still looks incredibly low across mid-Michigan. In terms of isolated impacts like those slick roadways, I'm really going to hone in on the forecast for Friday. That's when those lake effect snow showers look to be just a little bit more widespread. Across the area right now, we're still dealing with mostly clear skies. Feels like temperatures in the mid-20s here in Lansing, with winds currently at 16 miles per hour. We made it up to a high of 41 degrees in Grand Ledge, but of course it came along with those very gusty conditions. A peak wind gust of 36 miles per hour reported today. Similar situation in Jackson, currently sitting at 35. Feels like temperatures currently sitting in the mid-20s. Our 6-day forecast shows those snow showers moving in on Friday. After that, temperatures falling down below the freezing mark. We are going to be mainly dry as we move into next week, but of course those dry conditions do still come along with those cooler temperatures, especially when we look at our overnight lows in the upper teens to low 20s.
Teens, I know.
Yeah.
Take a breath.
The wind chill today was, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it. It hurts a little bit more because it was so sunny outside.
Thanks, Kendall.
Well, 6 News brought back our favorite holiday tradition this year, and we need your help.
Yes, we'd like to recognize remarkable women here in Mid-Michigan who make a difference for their families and the Mid-Michigan community. And to make a submission, just click on the Remarkable Women section of our website, WLNS.com, and tell us all about the remarkable woman in your life.
We will pick 4 women and profile them during Women's History Month in March. You have until December 20th to nominate someone.
Well, coming up, lawmakers in